Good morning, fellow Ambazonians. Today is the 19th day of this month of October 2024. My name is Capo Daniel, the chairman of PRAP. So I want to play to you people a message presentation from the ACN, that is the Egg of Sea Ayaba Cho'S network channel, and to explain to you people the reason why. You remember for 1 year, 9 months today, since PRAP was born and we started the agenda to fight for the devolution. Our assumption was that the radicalization by the hardcore Ambazonians who call themselves nationalists, who are extremists, they are going to lead to this struggle to be tagged an extremist struggle. The trial of Ayaba Cho is very, very important in this issue. So it's very important for people to know. Because when Ayaba Cho will be convicted, our Ambazonian struggle will be tagged, will be associated with war, with crimes against humanity, and the ramification will be huge. So I'm going to play a video from the ACN for you to listen. This is very important whether you belong to the group or not, but so long as you are an Ambazonian, an Anglophone from West Cameroon, this is important for you to know, because this trial of Ayaba Cho has direct ramification because his crimes are related in his activities for Ambazonia and his organization. It is not just him, it is also members of his organization. I have a list. Because I'm speaking from a hotel, I don't have a list with me. I'll give the list of the Ambazonians inside the Egg of Sea that have been sorted after. Benedictwa also have been arrested in America. He is on bail, and I'll give those information once I go back to my base. But I want you to listen to Julius Nye and the rest of the crew of the Egg of Sea. Ayaba Cho have not only implicated himself, but the entire Egg of Sea. Majority of their leading members will be arrested eventually. So listen to him, and I'll come later on to explain to you what is going on.
We understand that this was a well-calculated act because the same thing that was happening in Norway was happening to some of our leaders also in the US. But we all know that those that were called in for questioning in the US are going about their duties freely. But Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba has been in custody since the day he was picked up. Why is it so? Why is it that the Egg of Sea has not been able to request for bail for him? So that because people need to understand why we still have him in custody today.
Thanks a lot for that question. There are a multitude of reasons why he's still being held up. I'll just delve into a few. One, the legal system in Norway requires that people that are arraigned for questioning are kept behind bars as long as it takes to gather the evidence. Remember that Dr. Cho is charged with incitement violence, and the prosecutor doesn't have the evidence. So keeping him, according to Norwegian courts and the Norwegian police, would give them the time and space to gather their evidence, because they know that if they were to bring Dr. Cho to court now, the case would collapse.
So it be very important make una know the facts, because the reason for the podcast for the Ghana for provide our people factual information where they feel rely on for no say we don't do our job very well. Number one thing, Julius Nye, he talks say the reason why Ayaba Cho he be detained or the nobody release it up to now as follows. Make a repeater, make una hear.
Into a few. One, the legal system in Norway requires that people that are arraigned for questioning are kept behind bars as long as it takes to gather the evidence. Remember that Dr. Cho is charged with incitement violence, and the prosecutor doesn't have the evidence. So keeping him, according to Norwegian courts, and the Norwegian police would give them the time and space to gather their evidence, because they know that if they were to bring Dr. Cho to court now, the case would collapse.
So it be important make una know the truth. I don't know whether Dr. Nyi he decide for just the deceive Ambazonians, or because most of our people them they underlook our people because of our literacy level. They feel say our people they are fool, they don't get brain of their own. And an insult to the intellectual of Ambazonians, say people then go the continually the lie for we, they believe their own lie. Or maybe na he the Dr. Nyi, he just be foolish. So first thing we all wanna need for know Ambazonia, as he talks say the reason why they keep Ayaba for prison. Ayaba no then for jail. Ayaba they for waiting trial. Na detention center where they keep people the way they want to put them for trial. The reason why he talk na say the need for gather evidence. Say they don't take Ayaba for court, for interviewee, for get more evidence, because they never get evidence and for submit them for court. I want me gonna understand something. Ayaba is not only arrested, Ayaba is arraigned. Arraign means say they don't take you for court, go charge you for court, read the crime so you don't commit them for court, and then the judge he don't listen for the crime, he asks you say you be guilty or not, you talk say no guilty. So wait till it happen for Ayaba he no get nothing to do with gathering of evidence. Ayaba don't already be charged. They are already charged you for court for crimes against humanity. And before they want charge you for court, they provide evidence the way they are already gathered them from their investigation. The judge must look for see into the evidence before he decide whether they will give you bail or not. The bail for Ayaba it don't be rejected. Ayaba they for prison incommunicado because a crime where they charge you for the na incitement against for crime against humanity. That means say it talk thing where you go make people and commit crime against humanity. So one of the reasons where they don't lucky for the na say he talk the cause problem. So they no go ever leave him make it talk. Any man where if he say Norway government, they do politics. That means say that man he brain he don't shake. The Norwegian government he be at odds with the Cameroon government, because the Cameroon government don't try me Norway catchy for a long time in no work and then reject them. So take Cameroon they publicize the Norway their leader for newspaper then for Cameroon. Try for go make report for America using satellite firm against the Norway government for blackmail them. So this arrest where they arrest Ayaba my country people, he no get nothing for we fight for, so we fight against La Republique the army. Now crime where Ayaba don't commit and we all we will sabi. We have evidence and therefore every layman for Siam say he don't commit crime. Even time we be the commit the crime will be the talk am. Even Akwanga a commot talk say wait here but the talk do am nothing when a man way he head down shake. But I go talk am for English in a more rational way so that make all our people them understand, because the ramification of this thing is very, very big. So I will speak in English for our greater audience to understand, because this trial will not only include Ayaba. The American government is directly involved in the investigation that have led to his arrest. When we come up for Canada, there be tell we say Ayaba no go ever enter again for Canada. America be already suspending Asarante now. The American government then get interest for bring Ayaba be tried for America, because once he be convicted, members of the organization they go be arrested and they go be tried for the same crime. So I go read them for English. I don't write this one so that make our people then be well safe when I listen. It is in a recent video. This I read from which I don't write them. From a recent video, Julius Nyi have made misleading statement regarding Ayaba's legal situation in Norway. Julius Nyi claimed that Ayaba is still under investigation and that evidence is being gathered suggesting a lack of credible charge or evidence against him. This is blatant attempt to downplay the seriousness of the case and its ramification on our struggle, and manipulate public perception while ignoring key facts about the Norway judicial system and the current status of the case. Those who are protesting for the release of Ayaba during an ongoing investigation, remember that Ayaba have been already charged of specific crimes, and there are ongoing investigations surrounding the case, including further charges that will come up that will be included in the current charges that Ayaba face. Julius Ni suggests that Dr. Cho Ayaba is merely under investigation. It is false. The fact that Ayaba Cho is already formally charged in Norway, in legal terms, a charge which takes place during arraignment, is only brought forward when there are substantial evidence to support it. This is a critical point that the speaker, Julius Ni, deliberately ignores to create a narrative of doubt. In claiming that evidence is still being gathered, Julius Ni misrepresented the legal process, trying to imply that there is no substantial case yet, when in reality, the opposite is true. This is what you should know about the Norwegian judicial process. Norway's legal system is renowned globally for its fairness, transparency, and strict adhesion to the rule of law. Authorities do not make decisions lightly, especially when it comes to cases that are unprecedented in the history of Norway. Ayaba Cho has been denied bail. His bail has been rejected, which strongly indicates that evidence presented against him is serious and credible. In Norway, the denial of bail happens only when the court is convinced that there is a strong case or that the accused person possesses a flight risk or a threat to public safety. Julius Ni's attempt to dismiss these facts are part of an ongoing investigation undermining the credibility of the Norwegian judicial system and an attempt to mislead the public. And those who participate in protests calling for Ayaba Cho's release based on political affiliation will potentially come under scrutiny by the investigation in Norway for spreading disinformation and trying to discredit a judicial system that is globally renowned based on false statements. Julius Ni will be arrested eventually, that I assure you, people. Number 3 thing that you should know: the denial of bail reflects the gravity of the charges. The fact that Ayaba Cho, who holds a German passport, German European passport, is a German citizen. The fact that he has been denied bail and the German government have refused to support him with legal aid is a crucial indicator of the crime against humanity, and not just Ambazonia, in which Ayaba Cho is being faced with. The whole war, basically, the whole free war, basically is standing on Ayaba Cho's head for crimes that evidence have been presented of him being involved directly. For the most part, the only problem is to what extent other members of his organization are part of these crimes, and they should be aware of, so that when other members are being arrested, they should know that we have also do our part to warn them and educate our public about them. The decision to deny bail reflects the court's assessment of the gravity of the charges and the evidence that are presented against Ayaba Cho. By downplaying this fact, Julius Ni and the AGOF-C and Ayaba Cho's followers, who are calling for the release of Ayaba Cho and doing public protests in front of Norwegian police station, are not only misleading their audience, but they are attacking the judicial system of Norway based on falsehood, and they should know they are treading a thin line. So make it not happen again for some man, then talk say, will not be damn, warn them. The 4th thing you have to understand is the manipulation of public, misleading the public by falsely implying that evidence is still being gathered for why Ayaba Cho is being held. Julius Ni and Ayaba Cho's followers are deliberately sowing doubt in the minds of the international community and those in Norway about the strength of the case. This tactics is a form of disinformation designed to manipulate the public understanding of the situation. This is an attack not only against those who are doing their job to investigate further crimes committed by Ayaba Cho and the link those crimes have to other members of his organization. They may walk a line of interfering with a legal process based on falsehood, will only make things worse, not only for themselves, but to Ayaba Cho, which they have not even heard from him, neither have they heard from the lawyer that represented him, because me, Capo Daniel, I've reached out to the legal representative that was appointed to Ayaba Cho to get further comments, which he has refused to provide those comments. The reality is that Ayaba Cho have been charged. Even Julius Ni said that Ayaba Cho have been arraigned. How can you say that somebody have been arraigned and then you say that they are holding him just to gather evidence? It is either he's taking Ambazonian for a fool or he himself is one. For somebody to be arraigned, it means that already enough evidence have already been presented, not in the course of gathering, have already been presented in the court in front of a neutral judge. So the new Julius Ni and the Egg of Sea narrative attempts to reverse this logical process by implying that the charges were premature and that investigation on the charges or the purpose for which he is being kept in jail is still ongoing. We all know that it is a lie. It takes only somebody who is suffering from mental problems to look at a lie and accept it for what it is. But the Egg of Sea have been living and creating this reality of themselves. Even when these crimes were being committed, 10 people slaughtered in Bamenda and their body brought on the street, these people knew about it. Ayaba Cho justified and said that he ordered it. They stood behind and pretend they don't know what is going on. Including when 2 people were slaughtered and publicly executed. The spokesman, Lucas Asu, came out and announced that it was summary execution. The Egg of Sea members, they pretend and create a reality of their own. At the end of the day, the reality have caught up with Ayaba Cho, and eventually a reality check will caught up with those who are parading to attack the legal system of Norway. One of the purpose of this podcast is to inform them and our general public that their activity engaging in disinformation and attack with the hope of discrediting the Norwegian's legal system will end up bad and poorly to them. The wheel of justice turns slowly. No talk say, and no be sabi. Fly away the follow corpse, he go find himself for grave.
People that are arraigned for questioning are kept behind bars as long as it takes to gather the evidence. Remember that Dr. Cho is charged with incitement violence, and the prosecutor doesn't have the evidence. So keeping him, according to Norwegian courts and the Norwegian police, would give them the time and space to gather their evidence, because they know that if they were to bring Dr. Cho to court now, the case would collapse.
I don't know whether the Julius Ni Ijo Fise and Bazuna then be foolish. Bringing somebody to court, when you talk say Ayaba Cho have been arraigned, maybe they're a PhD, they began for you for Bonamosa for your own day. Arraignment means say they don't bring you for court, they don't charge you for court in front of a judge. They don't present evidence before the judge. They don't ask you, say, are you guilty or not? You talk, say, I am not guilty for the case of Ayaba Cho. Then they apply bail for you. Your bail, it be rejected, like the case for Ayaba Cho. Ayaba Cho no be get lawyer. The judge appoints Ayaba Cho lawyer. They apply for Ayaba Cho lawyer for a bail. A bail was rejected. For one reason is because the crime of incitement includes his speech. So Ayaba Cho's speech is limited. Where Ayaba Cho is, he will never see the light of day. You will never hear from him. Nobody have heard from Ayaba Cho. His communication with his family members is limited only to family members and legal counsel, which he doesn't have. His communication with the wife is being monitored. So Ayaba Cho, the Mr. No Blinking, can no longer say Ambazonia. The weaver bird have been shot off. So it's important that you people know this fact, because those who are going to protest against this investigation, who are being misled by Julius Ni, will find themselves in legal problem. because that demonstration based on these lies is trying to discredit the legal process in Norway, which is one of the most best in the world. Anybody who think that the Norwegian government is going to arrest somebody, even at the behest of the leader of Norway, for political reason, that person is out of their mind. Norway is home of dissidents even in Turkey. They live there in peace. Ayaba Cho is not being investigated about crime that he has committed. Based on the information we have heard, Ayaba Cho is being investigated for possible link with him and his organization, to what extent and whose member in that organization are in command structure or participate in decision making or are culpable for the crime that Ayaba Cho is being charged with. So if you are an AGOVC member, if you are still participating in this misinformation campaign, reality will meet up with you. You will be arrested for crimes of incitement, for inciting crimes against humanity. The crime of Ayaba Cho is known. The cases that have been cited are known to everybody. The evidence are available to everybody. Dr. Julius Ni and the AGOVC and Ayaba Cho supporters cannot deny that Ayaba Cho incited crimes against humanity that were committed in his name by the ADF on behalf of his organization. Defending or misleading the public may put you in danger for culpability for this crime that Ayaba Cho is being held with. His conviction will tag our struggle, unfortunately, with war crimes and crimes against humanity. It will set us against the war. And if you are wise, distance yourself to Ayaba Cho. Don't be misled by Julius Ni and those who have not even heard from him. So when the Julius Ni come and say that if Ayaba Cho is brought to the court, the case will collapse. For goodness sake, Ayaba Cho have been brought to court. Evidence have been provided. That is why he is being kept in jail. To take away somebody's freedom in Europe is not a joke. And remind you that Ayaba Cho is a German citizen, carrying a German passport, living in Norway just as a resident. So this is not a laughing matter. When Ayaba Cho was banned from entering America, people thought it was a joke. We had that conversation with him, so they know what is happening. Don't let your pride put you in jail, Julius Ni, and all those who are working for the AGOVC. It will be a very sad thing. The only reason why we celebrate the arrest of Ayaba Cho is the pain he constantly commits against our people. People were literally begging for him to withdraw the ban against the taxicolor, the yellow taxicolor. People were begging for him to intervene in Bambui, but he is adamant, arrogant, rude. And he is being treated the same way he has called for criminals to be treated. So it's fair. Ambazonians should be happy that a criminal against our own people, the family members of those who were slaughtered in Bamenda, or those who were killed in Gozang, the people whose ancestral palaces were burned in Iwai, and all those crimes are crimes against our own people and are not legitimate actions to further our case for independence. It undermines it. So remember that all this talking, all this bravado, if you don't stand on principle, reality will catch up with you. For the meantime, we must move our people from this imminent loss. PRAP has warned our public of the risk of us having a total loss scenario where the whole world will come against us. They will not just reject our petitions, but they will come against us. And this trial in Ayaba Cho have set a ticking clock on that warning we have given to our people. Our struggle have been derailed and exploited by criminals like Ayaba Cho, irrespective of their intention. Their activities and their conduct are criminal in nature. They are running a criminal cartel. I've just spoken with one guy who have been kidnapped in Bamenda. He has just been released after 500,000 have been paid. All the money that they stole from the banks, kidnapping they are collecting from ground zero. If you are removing your money in your pocket to help these people, you have to check yourself in a mental institute. God bless you all.